For the 2005 and welcome out to Duisburg, Germany for the 2005 World Games and the finals in ultimate between the U.S. and Australia. Adam Zucker here along with Jude Travers-Frazier. It is the 7th World Games and the 2nd time that ultimate is involved. The U.S. and Australia. Jude, it should be a good one today.
Adam, I'm looking forward to it. The teams are ready to go. They're looking sharp. They're getting warmed up, and it should be a great game.
And we saw the fans there shaking their hands. The players must be shaking their heads a little bit. It was sunny up until game time, and now we got a little rain in the forecast.
A little bit of rain, a little bit of nerves. This is the big game. They played each other yesterday, so they know what they're looking at, but you got to be nervous in the gold medal game.
And you're looking right there at the Dowell twins. Anthony and Matt, two of the taller guys on this Australia team.
Australia definitely has the height advantage over the U.S. Between the twins and Tom Rogacki, the U.S. is going to have its work cut out for them, keeping them out of the end zone.
And Rogacki, the one with the Frisbee in his hand right there, getting set to have our first pull against the U.S. Players getting ready for this one. What do you think? What do you think's going through the players' minds right now?
Right now, I think they're mostly just trying to steady their nerves. You know, they've been over their pre-game talk. They know what the strategy is. They know who they're covering. They just want to steady themselves down, make sure they don't come out with any silly mistakes, and get the game underway.
And it's going to be 7-on-7, 11 players on each roster, and there we see Australia, as you already talked about, the height advantage.
Definite height advantage. We're going to be watching out for the Dowell twins. We're also going to be looking at Di Werman. She's 6'1", and there's no woman on the U.S. team that comes close to that.
But the U.S. women do have a lot of skill, and they also have a couple of tall guys as well. And Joshua Zipperstein, he's 5'10", the only current collegian on this team. He's going to be a senior at Brown University as you look at their lineup.
Josh has got good work cut out for him. He's going to have to run hard and use his speed. We've got Chase Sparling-Beckley, who's the big man for the U.S. at 6'4". His job is going to be to keep those big Australians away from the end zone.
And I'm sure Bart Watson is happy that his name has been put up there as Bartholomew. We'll see what he and the U.S. crew can do. The first pull after this on CSTV. And we're getting ready for the first pull in Duisburg, Germany. Adam Zucker along with Jude Travers-Frazier. What's interesting is they're about to play for the championship, but they also met yesterday, Jude. The U.S. won 15-14, so what do we expect here?
Well, we're looking for the teams to know each other, but also to try and mix up the looks that they gave yesterday. We expect Tom Rogacki and the Dowell twins to be going deep, where yesterday they were mostly handling.
And the U.S. handling the Frisbee first, and it's Deb Cusson trying to find one of her teammates. The U.S. with their first chance to score, and as we mentioned, they won 15-14 yesterday. Both teams have to start from behind their own goal line when the pull takes place, and then once the pull is released, both teams can move as they wish.
That's correct. The pull lands. If it lands in bounds, you pick it up and play it from where it lands, or if you catch it, you simply put the disc immediately into motion. The U.S. is working its way up the field.
And the field is 70 yards long. The end zones, if you will, are 20 yards long. And the U.S. working their way up quickly here.
And here's a big first pass, looking to the end zone, and the U.S. scores its first goal.
Yeah, Will Beaver to Dom Fontanet, the Stanford grad, putting the U.S. on top, 1-0, and the Aussies had trouble keeping up there.
They certainly did. Dom is the only player to have competed for the United States in the 2001 World Games in Akita, Japan, and she's making a return trip and immediately makes her presence felt.
And we see here also backtracking off the field. How often are the substitutions taking place here with Coach Ted Munter?
Well, at a high-level game, you should be burning yourself out every point you're on there, so he's probably going to be trying to switch people pretty regularly. Some people will be more offense and some people will be more defense, so if there are points where you're on O twice in a row, you might stay out there, but he should be looking to make frequent changes.
And Chase Sparling-Beckley, the guy with the disc in his hand, we see each team here behind their goal line. What's the strategy for Chase as he gets ready to release here?
Chase is the big puller for the United States. He's going to want to try and park this pull as deep in the end zone as he can, but he definitely wants it to land in bounds. If it lands out of bounds, it's a brick, and they lose a lot of yardage on that.
It's a brick, huh? Well, that one lands in the end zone, of course, in the hands of one of the Aussies, and now it's their first turn in their green and yellow uniform. Something that we should definitely point out about the rules of the game is that there are no officials. The players serve as the officials, and we saw right there, they're calling their own fouls.
There was a downfield pick called, actually, and play stopped. And look at this. Oh, a big goal. Matt Dowell comes down with a huck from Tom Rogacki.
And that is the height advantage playing a role right there. Just a big huck, and he was able to outsky his opponent.
That certainly was. It was a perfectly thrown disc. Matt had a few feet on his defender, and he made a great catch in the end zone.
For people seeing Ultimate for the first time, is that a very typical move, or do teams usually, work their way up the field?
Well, it depends on your skill set. If you've got people who can throw it deep and receivers who can come down with it, that could be your game plan. It definitely is for the Australians. Other teams might have a good core of handlers who just tend to work the disc downfield.
Now also, as we get set for another pull here, and it looks like Jonathan Potts will do the pulling for the Aussies. Obviously, you want to get it far, but you also want to throw the disc pretty high.
The higher it is, the longer it stays in the air, the more time your team has to get downfield and set up your defense.
A little Queen for the kids as we get set for this pull here. Some good music being played here in Duisburg.
This crowd is pumped. These people are coming out to pay to see Ultimate played. They've traveled from Australia, they've traveled from the United States, and they're looking for a great game.
And here's the pull by Potts, and the disc goes right near our score of 1-1. You notice, fans, that there's no clock in Ultimate. You basically, whoever scores the seventh goal, their own seventh goal first, that's when halftime occurs, and games go to 13, got to win by 2.
That's right. In yesterday's game, the pool play game between the United States and the Australians, the game actually went into overtime. The final score was 15-14.
And we saw Miranda Roth make the catch and land inbounds to continue play, and now a chance for the U.S. Oh!
What a great catch. Josh Zipperstein just went high in the air to come down with the disc.
And we were talking about the Australian height advantage. That guy's got some good calves because Zipperstein is only 5'10". He was able to go way up and make that play.
Zip made a huge play, saving what could have been a potential turnover, and he scores the second goal for USA.
Now, in this game of Ultimate, there is no contact allowed. Now, on that play, it looked like there was some contact. If he had not made that catch, would a foul have been called?
There very likely would have been a foul. A foul is called when somebody else initiates contact and it affects your play on the disc. And clearly the contact there did seem to come from the defender. So if Josh hadn't come down with it, we might have expected a foul call.
And Zip, a member of Brownian Motion, knew all about physics on that play.
He certainly did. Brown had a great season this past year in College Ultimate, and Zip has turned that college experience into some good professional time here on the World Games.
And here comes the pull from Sparling Beckley. As we watch this disc fly, Jude, have you ever dropped a pull that you were trying to catch?
I'm ashamed to admit it, but I have. And that's the worst thing that can happen because under UPA rules, if you drop that pull, it's a turnover, and the other team gets the disc right where you dropped it.
And while most of the UPA rules are in effect here today, we're not exactly playing with normal UPA rules as, well, under any rules, that's a score as Australia gets another one. One of the Dowells coming down with it.
Again, we see Tom Rogacki hucking deep to Matt Dowell, and